All right, thank you guys. The Blue Jays take on the Nationals, 6:05 p.m. Eastern first pitch. The Nats are minus 143, totals 9.5 juice to the over. The Blue Jays are plus a buck and a quarter to win it. And if you like the Blue Jays to keep this one close, they're minus 154, catching the 1.5 on the run line. I'm 2-0 my last two MLB tier package plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. And of course, that's a website where I sell sports picks beginning at just $1.99. If you want some more information on how you can access these premium sports picks, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. We have the former National Tanner Roark on the bump for the Blue Jays, Austin Voth for the Nationals. The Nationals lost their last two straight, including a 4-1 loss to this very Blue Jays squad. Washington's also lost 3 out of their last 4, and they scored just 4 total runs in those 3 defeats. They're currently in last place in the NL East, and they lost 3 out of their last 4 games, where Austin Voth made the start. And speaking of Voth, he gave up 16 earned runs in 43 2/3 innings pitched last season. The Nats have lost 4 out of their last 5 home games against Toronto, along with going just 1-6 in their last 7 at Nationals Park. They're taking on Tanner Roark, who on the Toronto side, who went 4-3 in his very short stint with Oakland last season and struck out 50 batters in 10 starts. The Blue Jays are 6-0 in their last 6 head-to-head meetings with the Nats, and once again, 4-1 versus Washington in their last 5 at Nationals Park. Toronto's won 2 of 4 thus far in the season, and they held their opponents to just 5 total runs in those 2 victories. And speaking of the total in this one, I got a monster play on the total in this contest here, and as a matter of fact, this game is being featured as my MLB tier package play for today on patreon.com/BrockPage. I'm currently 2-0 thus far, my last 2 MLB tier package plays on that website. And once again, the total on this game, the over and under on this game, is being featured as my MLB tier package play. And once again, you can find that on patreon.com/BrockPage. Now moving on, we got the Chicago Cubs taking on the Cincinnati Reds, 6:40 p.m. Eastern start time. The Reds are the $1.15 favorite, totals 9.5 juice to the over. And if you like Chicago as the underdog here, they're catching even money for an outright win. We have Alec Mills for the Cubs, Tyler Mahle for the Reds. Mahle's got a career ERA of 4.88, and he's gone 11-23 in the big leagues. Tyler spent his first 3 seasons with the Reds and is coming off a pitiful 3-12 campaign in 2019. He put up a dastardly 5.14 ERA last season and gave up more hits than innings pitched. He gave up 25 bombs and finished with a 1.31 whip. The Reds have lost 8 out of their last 11 games where Mahle made the start. The Reds have also lost their last 3 straight and find themselves tied with the Pirates for 4th place in the NL Central. Cincy's given up 17 total runs in their last 3 straight and dropped 7 out of their last 8 contests at the Great American Ballpark. They're taking on Alec Mills on the Chicago side, who saw action in just 9 games last season with the Cubbies, although he did post an impressive ERA of 2.75. Mills officially went 1-0 in 4 starts, along with getting a save. He struck out 42 batters in just 36 innings pitched and finished with a 1.16 whip. Now, the Cubs are currently on a 2-game winning streak and scored 17 total runs in those 2 contests. They're also 3-1 on the season and gave up just 2.6 runs per contest in those victories. Chicago has also won 5 out of their last 7 divisional games. And when it comes to the total on this one, Chicago's last 3 straight all got over the total of 9.5 runs. Meanwhile, on the Red side of things, they saw 2 out of their last 3 get over that number as well. 4 out of Cincy's last 6 head-to-head matchups with Chicago played at the Great American Ballpark also got over that number. Give me the Chicago Cubs catching even money in the over 9.5 in that contest. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for Tuesday's Major League Baseball action. Happy Tuesday to you. Hopefully you're having a great start to your week. Now, before we dive into some more free content right here on YouTube, I just have to quickly remind you once again that we are currently 2-0 in our last two MLB tier package plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. And believe it or not, we're also 2-0 in our last two crowd pleaser teasers on that site as well. That should bode well for NBA players in the next couple of days. If you want some more information on how you can join in on the action, a link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And moving on, we're going to take a look at the Atlanta Braves taking on the Tampa Bay Rays, 6:40 p.m. East. Rays are $1.43, totals 8.5 juice to the over. The Braves are plus $1.20 on the money line. And if you'd like Atlanta to cover, they're minus 160, catching the 1.5. We got Kyle Wright for the Braves, Yonny Chirinos for the Rays. Chirinos had a solid year last season, going 9-5 in 18 starts. Chirinos struck out 114 batters in 133 and a third innings pitched, but finished with a solid 1.05 whip. The Rays also won their last three straight, where Yanni made the start. Tampa's coming fresh off an impressive 14-5 beatdown over this very Atlanta squad in their last outing. Tampa's won their last three straight and amassed 24 total runs during that span. The Rays are a perfect 6-0 in their last 6 games versus the NL East, and they've won 8 out of their last 9 at home. They're taking on an Atlanta squad who's lost 2 of 4 on the season, and that includes a shutout loss to the Mets in the season opener. Kyle Wright takes the mound for Atlanta after posting an 8.69 ERA and an 0-3 record in 2019. Wright finished his short 2019 campaign with a 1.88 whip as well. Atlanta's also dropped 8 out of their last dozen away from home, dating back to last season. Now, total-wise, Atlanta's last 2 straight got over the total of 8.5 runs. The Braves are also 13-7 to the over in their last 20 games, taking on a member of the AL East. Meanwhile, Tampa on the other side saw 4 out of their last 6 head-to-head meetings with the Braves get over that number themselves. 3 out of their 4 contests thus far in 2020 also got over the 8.5. Give me the Tampa Bay Rays minus 143 and the over 8.5 in that game. All right, next matchup, it is going to be the LA Dodgers taking on the Houston Astros, 9:10 p.m. East. The Dodgers are the $1.33 favorite, totals 9.5 flat. The Astros are plus $1.15 at home. And if you like Houston to cover, they're just minus 138, catching the 1.5. We got Valdez for the Astros, Buehler for the Dodgers. But despite an incredible 2019 season, the Dodgers have lost 2 out of their last 4 games where Walker Buehler made the start. The Dodgers are also currently on a 2-game losing streak, averaging just 2.5 runs per game during that short stretch. LA's really struggled with this Astros squad in recent years, dropping 6 out of their last 7 games at Minute Maid Park. And speaking of the Astros, they've got Framer Valdez on the bump, who, despite struggling in certain areas last season, he still catapulted the Astros to victory in 2 out of his last 3 starts. The Stros have won 3 out of 4 games already thus far in the season, and they're holding their opponents to just 3 runs per contest on average during those victories. So, cheating or not, you can't really cheat on the pitching end of things. Houston's also scored 29 total runs thus far in the season. Now, total-wise, Houston's last 2 straight got over the total of 9.5 runs. Valdez's last 3 starts also got over the total of 9.5 as well. Meanwhile, on the Dodgers side, 2 out of Walker's last 3 starts got over that number themselves. So with all that said and done, give me the underdog Astros plus $1.15 and the over 9.5 in that contest. All right, next and final matchup for the show, it's going to be the Seattle Mariners versus the Los Angeles Angels, 9:40 p.m. East. The Angels are minus $1.82, totals 9.5 juice to the under. The Mariners are plus 155 to win it. And if you like the Mariners on the run line, they're minus $1.25 to cover. We got Justice Sheffield for the Mariners, Patty Sandoval for the Angels. Sandoval went 0-4 last season in 9 starts. He finished the year with a 5.03 ERA and a 1.37 WHIP. The Angels have also lost 6 out of their last 8 games where Sandoval made the first pitch. The Angels lost their last 4 straight, averaging just 2 runs per contest in those losses. They're also just 1-3 on the year and dropped 6 out of their last 7 against the American League. They're taking on a Mariners squad who scored 12 runs in their past 2 contests. They're putting up a very young Justice Sheffield on the hill, who struck out 37 batters in just 36 innings pitched last season. Now, total-wise, Seattle's last 2 straight got over the total of 9.5 runs. 3 out of their 4 games on the season also got over that number. Meanwhile, on the Angels side, 2 out of their last 4 games also got over that total. 2 out of Sandoval's last 3 starts also got over that number. So with all that said and done, give me the Seattle Mariners plus 1.5 in the over 9.5 in that game. All right, let's go ahead and dive into some shout-outs. And from our Patreon platform, shout out to Brandon Saunders, Keith Coble, Colby Wellington, Elworthy Williams, Tyler Kitsally Boy, Jason Rue, Armand Whitaker, Reggie Harry, Gary Avery, and Clement Train. Next from our Instagram platform, shout out to Cito Palacios, Jazzy Dino, Juan Rodriguez, Will Slade, Paulina Mix, Money Makin' Nikki, Remy Boove, Azalea Energy, Peter Godfrey, and Kaio Yoshimura. And finally, from our YouTube platform, shout out to Bo Dunn, SOP Striker, Ant Ruga, The Great One Henry, Vasudev Dalvi, Mark Scott, B123 Lick, Green Tongue Man, Paul Lopez, and last but certainly not least, gotta give a shout out to my man, Jerome Jerry Watkins. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you decide to pull the trigger, we'll bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. But most importantly, guys, I got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/rockpage.